focus on Republicans is because, of course, Democrats have been on the right side of the democracy question the whole time, but they're not the threat. They don't stand at this intersection of a threat of domestic violent extremism and a belief that the 2020 election was stolen. And if you look at sort of an effort to counter extremists, which is what they have become on the question of the 2020 election, they believe something that is not true. They believe something that Chris Krebs, a lifelong Republican, told them was the opposite case, that 2020 election result was had in the most secure election in our country's history. The reason I keep sort of highlighting these messages from incredibly conservative voices is that I wonder at what point, or if ever, will Democrats try to cleave apart the dangerous wing of the Republican Party, the people peddling the lie and benefiting from the lie, and the people who at least see questions of democracy the same way as every Democrat.
You know, one of the things that I think we could do to start down that path is change the narrative from the big lie to the big criminal conspiracy. And
yes.
You know, Michael, running a national party, and me, the former executive director of the state party, it is striking to me the level of coordination that is necessary to put out these messages at multiple levels of government. You know, at the state party, if any candidate sends out a piece of mail, we had to approve that. So the fact that you have all of this money, all of this messaging, all of this, whether it's mail, whether it's digital, whether it's just, you know, speeches, there is a level of coordination that is almost unprecedented in perpetuating, and I'm going to continue to call it, this criminal conspiracy, especially when you add in with tampering with potential tampering with voting machines. So the concern that I have with respect to the Democratic response is two things: time and passion. Time, because unfortunately, historically, in many ways, we kind of respond to, we're very reactionary and sort of respond to these things cycle to cycle. What is clear is that the Republicans did this over an extraordinary long period of time in multiple venues. When we're talking about judges, if you're talking about, you know, they're contending, they're putting up candidates for secretaries of state. Like, were we thinking about that? So those are the kinds of things that I think ordinary voters really want to, you know, make sure that the party itself, whether it's the state or national level, is really contesting everywhere that it can. We saw that in Georgia in the last two elections. That really needs to be replicated across the country. And then passion. I was driving upstate New York a couple of days ago, all rural communities, and I'm still seeing Trump signs from 2016, from 2020, and a couple for 2024. And it should not escape us that whether we like to call it this or not, or whether we acknowledge it or not, there is a significant political and social movement occurring on the right. And this is not something that Democrats can just push back against by running a good candidate here and there, by talking about what we should and should not be doing. We have to match it with as much or more passion and create a movement on our own. We used to stand for American exceptionalism, and 75% of the people that live in the world right now, according to research, live in countries where their democratic institutions are in danger of collapsing. The United States, for the first time, is part of that. I have to talk about that in my classes now. Yeah. And so if we're going to be exceptional again, we maybe Democrats can partner with some Republicans to start to call this criminal conspiracy what it really is.